All right, first mag, CZ P-10C Ported. We're just gonna run them and see if she is reliable. CZ P-10C Ported seems to shoot really nicely. I got three 15 round mags here. We're gonna run them real quick. This mag release is super stiff here. So trigger is pinned back to the wall. Did we get a failure to it? No, wait. So as you see right here, the gun did not go fully back in the battery. Okay. So a round got caught in there. Okay. So we had one malfunction. CZ P-10C Ported, Winchester, the usual culprit. Notorious for killing guns on this channel. All right, hold on. That could have been me there. What is going on here? Not really sure. Is it something to do with this? This round looks totally fine. Let's put this in here. All right, it's chambered. This mag release is super stiff. Huh. See if we get that malfunction again with this one. So it's doing it with, this could be a bad round because it's only done it with this one round. So we may have a round here that is causing the problem. So we're gonna put this off to the side because I've only experienced that malfunction reloading that same round. That loaded fine. Just out of curiosity, let's put this bad boy back in. We're gonna pull it all the way back. We're gonna let go. No. Check that out. So we have a lot of malfunction of the gun, but a bad round that's causing the problem. Oh, I got 5 magazines, 15 apiece, 75 rounds. We're gonna go dead middle. See if we have any malfunctions. I'm just gonna just, you know, just try to keep them all in the yellow if I can. Well, first one right now. How about that, guys? Really pulling it. I don't know why. So we're obviously not keeping them all in the diamond because I suck. Fucker. You can see where most of them are going. Most. I think that's 3 magazines. I can eat up more of that yellow because it's kind of going same spot. Trying to kind of go along the top there. Oh. So the grip is like it's smooth where this ain't. This stuff, I don't know, it could just because it's cold. Because I think like my hands get ate up more when it's cold. But yeah, you can see here, so obviously so we got 75 rounds. You can see I pulled a couple here. Those might have been whatever shit, but if I take my time I can keep them, you know, usually kind of like there. But so out here with the CZ here, P-10C Ported. We're gonna try to run some aluminum rounds through here. These are 115 grain Blazer. I got a couple of mags here. See if we have any issues. I don't normally run aluminum. It's like 200 rounds I picked up off my brother. Just something to tide me over here. I got some 124 Fiocchi coming. I'm gonna run through this later as well. Not today. When I get it in the mail. We'll just go for the top of the head here. So ran them all. A little bit of trigger freeze there. First shots of the day. No issue with that. You can see I'm pulling here. Down low, pretty low there. Let's try another mag. Turns to zero pretty nicely. Mag release, I don't know, it's like really, it's still really stiff. A few hundred rounds in. Pulling out there. No issue. So see, I went here, 2 out. Looks about 4 here, maybe 5 right here. You got predominantly kind of like, this is kind of where I'm mostly hitting right here, but obviously you see some out here. So not bad. That's 115 grain aluminum from Blazer. So that's a pretty nice clean dot actually. Very little star bursting to my eye. We'll shoot the left circle here. I don't know why I pulled that hard on the first one. Ooh, shooting out. Oh, that was rough. So this first one here, I yanked like hell. So this is all shooter air. And then I got these 4 right about there. That's a little weird. I don't know why I'm shooting that far to the right. Let me put another 5 in that circle here. All right, let's see here. Try to take my time with this. Is that 4? I don't know if that was 4 or not. I might have shot 6 actually. Don't know. We'll worry about that later. I'm shooting to the right. Putting the dot here, but I'm shooting to the right. You can see it's, you know, it's not too bad as far as that goes, but I don't know if I have to bring that dot over. All right, we got 2 mags here, 15 a piece. Blazer aluminum, 115. I got it taped up there. You can see a red sticker there in the middle. We're gonna try to put them on that red circle there. 30 rounds. I'm gonna try to keep it tight. Try to anyways. 8 yards. Okay. It's a little tricky going from the Romulus to this. This trigger's good, but it's still a lot longer than the 2011. Oh, that one smacked me. Ran them all. That one failure to extract. I don't think it's a huge fan of these aluminums, but it seems to run them okay. Probably just ammo related, the one failure I had. Fuck. Okay. So outside of the one fluke, I have went through quite a few aluminum rounds with this. I'd say about, at least 100. So here we are. 30 rounds, 8 yards, CZ P-10C Ported. You can see I pulled one off here to the right. There's one right here. It looks like there's one maybe here on the edge of the circle. And then all the rest are, as you can see, within a fist-sized group. Except for maybe, like even this one here fits in a fist-sized group, I'd say. And I just, one right there, just slightly to the right. So that's actually not bad. So I'm out here today. Put a few more rounds. We got a new rounds put through the CZ P-10C Ported. This is 124 grain Fiocchi. I've had people been asking me about these rails on the bottom of my gun. This is just the rail attachment for the Black Hawk Omnivore. That way it's compatible with the Omnivore holster, excuse me. In case you're wondering, it's just a little piece of plastic. It weighs almost nothing. All right, I already was shooting earlier in the middle, so we're gonna go for the top center head first shots with the CZ. It's about 35 degrees out here, so it's cold. Ooh, I get used to this trigger. Okay. I was shooting a 2011 before this, so the trigger reset on this is a lot longer. So that'll throw you off a bit. I can't really see where the rounds are going. More at 124 grain. This here is just still unbelievably stiff. This slide release, this is the stiffest slide release. God damn it. I don't know, like sometimes I feel like you have to like get it in the right spot when you press on it. This slide release is the worst slide release on any gun I've ever shot. I mean, I've had Smith & Wessons, which are a lot more comfortable to press, that were stiff in the beginning and they loosen up. So far, after several hundred rounds, this is not loosened up at all. It's really cold out here. Supposed to hit almost 60 today, but it's like I said, probably around 35 right now. This grip, like, I'm not a huge fan of this grip, but it bites into your hand. I can't say it don't bite into your hand. You can see right here, it definitely will bite into your hand. The overall feel of it's not bad, but I can't complain too much because as long as it's biting in your hand, that's all that matters. Even if it doesn't really feel the most comfortable. It's not like a sandpaper. It's just more like, I don't know, a bunch of hard little plastic nubs digging into your hand. All right. Oh, slide sucks. Slide release, excuse me. Oh, shit. So you can see right here, that was 3 magazines, 45 rounds. You can see predominantly we are right in here. And we got a little bit down low here. And we got, looks like about maybe 2 up here. These ones that are a little further, that was probably me in that last mag where I sped it up some. So precision drops as I pick up the pace. That's just my, you know, my skill level's not that great. But for the most part, I kept them within this, except for these 2. This one here is kind of bordered, kind of maybe just slightly out. But you see most of them are there. If I would have kept it slower, I could have kept them all in the fifth side group. But that's easy. So I'm here wrapping up the first impression with the CZ P-10C Ported. Right off the bat, just so you guys know, we are empty. Okay. So there she is, 600 rounds. 200 rounds were Blazer aluminum. The rest was a mix of 124 Fiocchi and 115 grain Winchester. There were 2 malfunctions. One definitely ammo. One I do believe was on the gun. We'll go over that in a minute. You guys will have already seen some of that footage, the range footage up to this point. I'm going to try to wrap this up as I cover the specs as quickly as I can, because I've noticed I think longer videos are not appealing to people on YouTube. So I'm going to try to shorten it. Maybe I'll change up my format a little bit in the future, maybe shorten these videos up, because I don't think people want to watch, you know, lengthy videos. You know, so real quick, 9mm 15+1 capacity. It does come with 2+2 mag extension base plates. So you get 2 of these in the box. That's what they look like. That way you have 17 rounds. They do add a little bit of texture on there, if you're wondering. And obviously these are the standard flush fit mags. Okay. 4-inch cold hammer forged barrel, which I pulled back here so you guys can actually see it right there. And they do make this barrel is 10% heavier than the OG P-10C. Okay, so the non-ported P-10C that came out several years ago, this is 10% heavier. They did that to help bring down the recoil, and they do put a nice chunk port right there in the front of this gun, and she does put in the work. And like I said, can't go wrong with a cold hammer forged barrel. It'll last you a lifetime. Outside of that, you have very aggressive cocking serrations, and they are aggressive. They will, you can feel them, they will dig into your fingers when you grab them. Whether from the back, front, it don't matter. There's even some serrations there on the top of the gun right there. If you're someone that likes to go from the front, I don't normally do that too much unless it's like a 2011. it comes with these sights here right there. So you can see they got a little bit of green there in the back and the front. These luminescent sights, I believe they are, it's a P-09 Nocturne. If you're familiar with CZs, I guess. But there they are right there. Mac knocking stuff over. Real quick here, so we're on the sights. It is optic ready, but it does not come with a plate. You have to go out and buy your own plate, okay? So there's that. You can, depending on your optic, the deck height on this Venom is high. You can probably get a co-witness with, I would say, a lot of optics. I don't know about all of them. This one here kind of works, kind of right there. You can kind of see it a little bit in the front. It's a little dirty, but it's tight back here with that. But you don't lose your rear sight, okay? Outside of that, the gun is 27 ounces without the mag. They call the frame a fiberglass reinforced polymer. That's what they call it. No idea. That's what they have it. I can tell you that it is very aggressive, especially on the back strap here. Real prickly here in the back and the front right here. My hands, it is a little abrasive to the skin when you're holding it back here on the back strap. And they have the same texture here on the side, just not as tight together as back here. There's a little bit of spacing here. But you shouldn't have any issue as far as grip and holding onto this gun because the serrations are very aggressive. Excuse me. On their slider, their steel slide, excuse me. They call it bow box. That's their own nitrating process. So it seems like it, you know, I haven't had the gun long, but I'm sure it works pretty well. But they call it bow box. That's their nitrating process that CZ does. As far as trigger goes, they say 5.5 pounds. I ran it on my gauge. I usually get around 4.5 pounds. It's a little awkward with this trigger. This kind of like this more curved trigger. And I'll show it to you guys real quick. There's your take up right there. And this is kind of your wall. But there's a little bit of creep in there. I don't know if you guys saw it. That's your reset, tactile and audible. I'll let it out. Again, there's your wall. And there's a tiny bit of creep in there. And you get a fairly clean break. So there's that on the trigger. Like I said, I get about 4.5 pounds. So I'll go over it real quick. Some of my, I guess, I don't like the slide stop. I know I was calling it a mag release in the video a lot. Ignore that. That was just me misspeaking. Even after 600 rounds with the gun, she's hard to get that slide to drop right there. It takes a considerable amount of pressure to drop it. It's hard on your thumbs. At least mine is. It hasn't lightened up. It's just as stiff as it was out of the box. Maybe it'll lighten up down the road. It is ambi though. So for you guys, you know, it doesn't matter left, right-handed. There you go. You do have, they did put texture right here and right here. So if your thumb's forward, you get a little bit of texture. That was a very nice detail that CZ did, that they put into the gun. I appreciate that. That's smart, putting that little bit of texture, because a lot of people do put, like myself, their thumbs forward. As far as the two malfunctions, you would have seen, actually you only would have seen one because one was off screen. The first one was clearly a bad round, 115 grain Winchester. I tried to load that round several times, actually, at the same round. You might have seen me do it maybe 2 or 3 times, but I tried several times. The gun would not fully chamber. It would stop like, you know, maybe like here. So it would not fully go into battery. The round must have been out of spec. So that Winchester 115 grain, of the few hundred I put through it, that was the only one I had an issue with. Definitely ammo related. The other one was of the 200 Blazer aluminum. I had one failure to extract with the aluminum round. Take that for what it's worth. Could have been the ammo. It could have just been, you know, it just could have been just a fluke, and it failed to extract. But I did, you know, I'm honest, and you know, like nothing's given to me. I pay for everything. completely transparent, whether it's something stupid that I did or whatever. But I did get one failure to extract with the Blazer aluminum. So just keep that in mind. But it was only one out of the 200 aluminum and only one out of the 600. I don't really count that 115 grain because I know that round was out of spec. But a total of 2 issues as far as stoppage when firing this gun. However, I did have I'm not gonna go on this long. You wouldn't have seen it in the video, but around at the 500 round mark, the slide would when you were racking it, the slide would catch and it would stick. It would stick, and then I would have to hit it forward. So there were some, normally though, when you pull back and you slingshot it, it would usually go all the way forward. It never stopped when I was shooting either. But if you even, usually I would rack from the front, like just like sitting here at home or whatever. And if you really didn't let that thing slingshot, what would happen is it would go forward and it would just stick. Now I get it, riding slides, you're not supposed to, it'll cause a malfunction. But I've never had a gun where when you ride the slide just sticks though. You know what I mean? Yeah, it'll cause a malfunction loading around, chambering around. But I've never had it where a slide would just like stick here, right there. So that was around the 500 round mark. I reached out to CZ. I sent them the gun. Less than 2 weeks later, they told me it was done. I don't even know if it wasn't even 2 weeks, but yeah, it was less than 2 weeks. And they said they could not replicate the issue. They just said there was a significant amount of carbon buildup on the slide. So basically they sent me the gun back and told me it was dirty. And they, I guess, were implying that the dirt was causing the slide to drag and stick. Okay. That's what they said. I've never really had that issue with striker fire guns, where you have to clean them every 500 rounds, or the slides. I've never seen a slide just kind of stick. Like I said, you wouldn't have seen it, but it was an issue that I truly was having, where the slide would just get stuck. But usually, you know, it was, you had to I don't want to say ride it, you know, just if you didn't really let it go full velocity, the slide would just get stuck. So it meant like kind of like like if you're gonna dry fire, like, you know, prolonged period of time or something like that, it was bound to catch. So it was definitely not something you want to dry fire with. But so if what they said is true and there was no issue, other than it was just 500 rounds of filth that was causing the slide to drag and stick, I'll know, because I put 100 rounds. That's why it's a 600 round review, not a 500, because I put another 100 after I got it back. No issues. The gun came back. You see that the slide is, you know, even if I ride it, it's not sticking. It's not sticking. Okay. So, but it was sticking before around the 500 round mark without cleaning. Like I said, I just oiled it in the beginning and didn't clean it. I don't always clean my guns every 500 rounds. Maybe I should. But I know it's ported, so obviously there's going to be more. It's going to be more filthier than normal. So maybe that's why. I still have my doubts, but we'll find out, because I put 100 through it, and I'm going to take it to 1,000. That'll be another 500 rounds. We'll see if the carbon builds up again and the slide starts to drag around the 500 round mark. So it'll be something interesting to see. I'll definitely let you guys know if the gun was just dirty and it was causing a problem. So that could have been. The gun shoots great. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have not had really many issues with the gun. The gun shoots great. She shoots relatively soft. That chunk port is definitely putting in the work. She's very accurate. As accurate as I can be, anyways. So I have no complaints there. Like I said, that chunk port and that, you know, that thick, heavy, cold hammer forged barrel definitely is. They're nice features, and they definitely do help. No doubt about that. Outside of that, I think I pretty much covered everything. I try to make this quick as I can, because I don't, you know, want super long videos, or at least I try not to. But you know how it goes. But I don't want to waste any more of your time. Any questions? If anyone else has had issues where the slide was hanging up like that with this gun or any other gun, just from it being a little dirty, we'll say 500 rounds or less, let me know. I think it was it was interesting, but they got it back to me fast, so no problem. It didn't cost me $1, You know, I figured I'd let them look at it. They wanted to look at it. They checked it out. They said it was just carbon buildup. Okay. So outside of that, like and subscribe. You know, follow the channel, especially if you want to, if you're interested in this gun and you want to see if that issue pops up again, because I'm going to put another 400 through it. And when I get around that 500 round mark, I'll update you guys and let you know if the slide was starting to drag and hang up again. Outside of that, thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.